Welcome to Educarte's 2021 virtual performance series. Tonight, featuring Alison Crockett. Very excited. My name is Pablo Hedges. I'm the moderator for tonight and also the executive director for Educarte. This program is part of our 2021 virtual performance series. And Educarte is a cultural arts education nonprofit organization that builds communities by connecting artists and audiences. Educarte creates engaging performances like the one we'll have tonight and educational programming that highlight the value of cultural expression. To learn more and stay up to date on our organization and upcoming performances, please visit www.educarteinc.org. And there you can also sign up for our newsletter, follow us on social media, and that way you can keep up to date on everything. So tonight we're featuring Alison Crockett. She was on seminal recordings by King Britt, Blue Six, Us Three, and a host of others. Alison Crockett's voice has provided a velvety, sensual finishing touch for cutting-edge beats. Her voice, dripping soul with generous helpings of jazz, gospel, and blues, she has taken the baton from divas of the present and past, such as Rachelle Farrelle, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Donna Summer, Elis Regina, one of my favorites, and Sarah Vaughn, and forged a uniquely personal and singular musical vision. Alison's latest project, released in November 2018, focuses on a new love, Brazilian music. She also has some new projects we'll be talking about. But after visiting the country of Brazil, she decided to mix in her musical loves to create the project Obrigada. Who knows what that means? Thank you. Recorded in the city of São Paulo in the summer of 2017 with Brazilian jazz musicians Felipe Silviera, Thiago Alves, and Palinho Vicente. Alison has weaved refreshing sounds of jazz, bossa nova, and soul that continue to highlight her fearlessness as a musical traveler, boldly projecting her inimitable voice into the sonic future. All right, welcome.
Thank you. That's a lot of words. Inimitable. Inimitable. I don't know.
Unpronounceable, I would
Inimitable.
Yeah. So I spoke a lot. Why don't we liven it up a little bit with some of your artistry? You have a wonderful clip of the girl from Ipanema. I don't know. Do you want to set us up for that or let us know after?
Sure. I did this as a part of my tribute to Nat King Cole, and he does it as a swing. So I love the song. It used to be one of those songs that jazz musicians hated to do because we did it. It was so insanely popular that you always had to do it. So then it fell out of favor. And I was like, this is a great song and I'm going to do it. And I like it. So I do it all the time whenever I can.
Great. And who's playing with you on this clip?
Oh gosh, this is Lenny Robinson on drums and Amy Shook on bass. I cannot remember. I'm not sure if this is Wayne. I think this is this Wayne Lentz one?
I don't think so, but let's find out. Let's
find out.
Yeah.
I can't.
Tall and tan and young and lovely, little girl from Ipanema goes a walking. When she passes, each one she passes goes. When she walks, she's like a samba that swings so cool and sways so gently that when she passes, each one she passes goes. Oh, how he watches her sadly. How can he tell her he loves her? Oh, yes, he would give his heart gladly. But each day when he walks to the sea, she looks straight ahead, not he. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes a walking, and when she passes, he smiles. Ooh, 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 doo, ooh, doo, doo. Ooh, ba, ooh, doo, boo, boo. Stop, da, boo, 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 boo. Bleed it, bleed it, oh, it did it. Oh, it did it. Fleda do ba be do be do do be do do be yo. So do ba do ba be a. Da da do da so do do bo da dum da. Say da dum go do we. Ya ba ba don loy don sta da da di di don be di don sta da bo ba we don lo don day don clear da bo be bo be don ba be be bo be street be yo di do take it to go but to go but to day radio bed and big do bo do 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 day.
Oh, it cut off. But hey,
But you got the whole solo at least.
Yep.
And that was Chris Grasso, by the way.
Chris Grasso. I could even see his iReal book chart.
Yeah, that's how we all roll it. It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And with that, I know you're working on a couple new projects. Would you like to share some that are coming up that you're excited about, and maybe people can participate in, or what?
Well, I tend to do a lot. I don't know why this is. I just think I do a lot because I want a lot. But what ends up happening is that, people get a lot. So I mean, I'm doing recordings, I'm doing teaching. There's a lot coming up. So in terms of what's coming up tomorrow, I have a performance tomorrow where I am a judge for the Ella Fitzgerald competition sponsored by Universal Music, the Ella Fitzgerald Foundation, and Blues Alley. Wow. And so myself, Jessica Boykin Settles, and Darden Purcell are going to be presenting music from the Mercer catalog and Ella Fitzgerald. So we're going to have a great time doing that. And in the morning, I'm going to be teaching as a part of my organization, Generations of Vocal Jazz, which is reaching specifically out to children between the ages of 8 and 12. And even though I had some 6-year-olds and some 7-year-olds and maybe a 13-year-old in there, doing online song workshops. It's the Alison Crockett Jazz Family Jam Song Workshops, where your children and you also, the parent, the grandparents, great way for all of y'all to come together. We learn about jazz. So I go through the whole thing. We listen. We do little exercises to get us to know how to sing jazz appropriately, appropriately. And then we learn a song. And each one of these workshops are $5.
And anyone can attend.
Anyone can attend. So it's really aimed at children. So it's like, so it's one of those things that, if your kid likes to sing, yeah, this is for you. And I'm also working on, trying to present the music authentically. One of the most wonderful things about me going when I went to Brazil was that, we Americans seem to think that we know how to do everything. And
no.
And so when I went to Brazil, I was like, I'm gonna do this song, and my musicians were like, yeah, that's not how you do it. Here, let me show you. And that's one of the things that I want to bring to children and jazz. It's that, a lot of times we have people teaching us about the music that, don't really know what the music is. And so I had to learn about Brazilian music from Brazilians. I had to understand. I took classes. I did gigs with them. So I understand. So I started understanding how the music. I live in a community where there's lots of Brazilians around. So I got a chance to really hear the music, understand the music, and learn about it from the people who created it.
That is so cool. And can you give us an example of something you thought you had a grasp on that maybe they helped you further understand?
Oh, gosh. The sense of time, one, I didn't understand that. When jazz musicians do Brazilian music, it's very 1, 2, 3, 4, ding, 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 ding.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't feel, and also feeling one, that feeling. On the second beat.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, that feeling, where to place the emphasis. And I remember I was trying to explain it to some young jazz musicians, and they were like, that doesn't feel right. I'm like, trust me. Right. Trust me. It's just that you don't know. But I had to learn that information. And the story that I like to tell is I was singing O Cantador, and I started singing it, and they were like, no, no, Alison, no. It's like you're a really good singer, but no. And so they started singing da 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 do da bue da da do re ha da da, and we sang it for 20 minutes. Literally, we sang that for 20 minutes. And then I went back to my friend's apartment in São Paulo, and I listened to the song on YouTube by various Brazilian artists for 2 hours. And, and I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I think that happens with other persons who are learning new genres, that we don't spend enough time listening. Sometimes we even American genres. So if someone's learning jazz or rock, you got to listen a lot to like really get it in your DNA, so to speak.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that I want to do with jazz with kids, because a lot of teachers are teaching it, but don't really know anything, don't really understand about it. And I grew up in it. My father was a jazz pianist through medical school, and apparently Donny Hathaway used to come to his house, to his mom's house, and and so so he would play at Bohemian Caverns.
Wow.
And I have a fake book, the fake book that they used that was really illegal back then for all the dance bands. And I still have it from the 50s and 60s for the fake book that they all, the real book that they all talk about.
Yeah.
So I have that. And so I grew up listening to music, listening to jazz, listening to R&B, listening to the pop of the time mixed in with jazz and soul. And I listened to it. My father listened to it every single night, really loud. So it was inculcated in me. So that was one of the other projects that I'm doing is called My Father's Record Collection.
That's great.
And so I did a show at Blues Alley, and when we were performing at the National Press Club, and I recorded it. And so that will be coming out as a live recording later on this year.
I love it.
And so, because what I wanted to be able to do was present, this chunk of my life. Before we were talking, before the program came on, we were talking about how to present our lives on social media.
And can I ask you, what are some of the songs that you're doing in that?
Oh gosh. So the record is called Echoes of an Era, and it's the original record. Like, I'm presenting the record.
Oh,
and
okay.
So Chick Corea is on there, and Chaka Khan, and Lenny White, and Freddie Hubbard. And so, I mean, I learned, these artists. So standards like All of Me, and Chick Corea songs like Higher Wire. And so what that record was trying to do was using Chaka Khan to reach back and to show people what jazz was like. And, A Train is on there. I do a song from Porgy and Bess. I Love You, Porgy. And so I'm also presenting a song from the Nancy Wilson version of the same record.
Oh, wow.
I Get a Kick Out of You. So, I mean, I listened to a lot of Chaka Khan, a lot of Nancy Wilson. So I literally did not study for putting on this show.
What are from that experience and from teaching the workshops, what are some strategies that you found that parents can use if they're not musicians like you, or what can they do to help sort of inculcate or develop these habits with the children and help them build that sort of, you had your dad's collection and he played and,
Well, one of the things that I tell people, if your kids want to participate in music, take them to a music store and purchase your things from local music stores. Because we want them to survive. And let them, and treat them like a children's petting zoo, like an instrument petting zoo. And most music stores will let you touch and play and see what you like. That's what I did. I wanted a piano when I was 3, And whenever I saw a piano, I'd go up to it and I would touch it and stroke it and play. Literally, that's the kind of thing that happens. The other thing is, is support your schools or your churches or other faith institutions or communities, bands and choirs. So make sure that your music program is staffed with a regular music teacher, so that your child has, that's the first opportunity that your child has to participate in music. So support your public education and arts programs, and then take your kids to see concerts.
Yeah, you got to see it. You got to be there.
You got to take I remember I took my kids to see Lion King so they could see the majesty of musical theater and singing and art. I've taken them to see the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater because my children are dancers, and they were amazed. They were amazed. Now, of course, they've been to my shows, so they really don't really want to go with me when I perform. They really don't.
Wait a minute.
I'm not cool
That's
to my
mom.
I really, it's like they put their hand on my mouth and they're like, please don't sing, mommy. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. But that's what I would say. It's giving opportunities to see, to experience art, and to experience music. And the thing is, share with them what you like. They will already have what it is that they like. They'll figure that out. But my kids don't really like what I like, but they still listen to it.
I think that's an important point. Our children usually try and imitate their parents. Adults in general, their parents. They might not like it now, but I bet you, for example, I want to give a shout out to our Educarte president and the tech run of the show. The tech guy, Kate Spanos, tonight. But her father is a very big Bob Dylan fan, plays Bob Dylan, sees his concerts, and she was annoyed by it growing up. But now whenever she hears Bob Dylan play, there's a special thing that happens, and it's a special connection. So kids sometimes will get annoyed, but it makes an impression on them, right?
It really does. There are times when I really have to hear Main Ingredient, rolling down the mountainside. I have to hear it because that's how I went to sleep. You remember these things, and you remember these impressions. And I think that we as parents, because my children are 17 and 11, as parents, we forget that, our children really do look up to us just as we looked up to our parents. And it's okay to put on top of them things that they may or may not like, because they're kids.
Yeah.
And that's our job, is to make sure that they grow up into well-rounded adults. And they can't be well-rounded adults without us giving them that rounding. I need to take my own advice.
Okay, great. I think that makes total sense. We help nurture the children and show them. So since you're talking about it, your beautiful music, I was thinking, I'm in between Each of Us is a Flower or Human. Which one would you like to?
I would do Each of Us is a Flower, since we're talking about kids. That's me and daughter.
Oh, nice.
And my oldest daughter helped to film it. And yeah, this is one of my favorites.
Great.
Each of us is a flower growing in life's garden. Each of us is a flower. We need the sun and rain. Each of us is a flower growing in life's garden. Each of us is a flower. We need the sun and rain. Shine your warmth on me. Moon, cool me with your night. Wind, life's garden. Each of us is a flower. We need the sun and rain. Each of us is a flower, a flower. Growing in life's garden. Each of us is a flower. Growing in life's garden.
That's beautiful. And we got to see your children there. That was awesome.
Yeah. You got to see my eldest like go by real quick. She doesn't like to be in anything.
She likes producing the filming, right?
Yes, she does.
Great. That's great. And so you were telling me before also about you have a couple of performances coming up. I want to just excite people in general because we're all excited. Hopefully in the next few months, more people are vaccinated and we can get out to doing real performances and seeing real performances.
Yeah.
You tell us a little bit about that. And you're also, for people who don't know, Alison is also a music teacher, I guess a vocal teacher at
George Washington University. I am. Well, I'm not doing a lot of live performance. Like I said, I am doing a performance tomorrow that will be streamed, and you can get tickets through Lulu's Alley. And I'm going to be doing that with Darden Purcell and Jessica Boykin Settles to celebrate Ella Fitzgerald. And then it's going to be a minute, and I'll be over in Eastern Maryland performing over there. I for a festival. I'm just starting to kind of get that together. And, it's taken a second. It's taken a second because...
Will that one be open to the public?
That one will be open to the public.
Okay.
So, and who knows, as places are starting to open up, there will be more performance opportunities for me. who knows where things will be. But I mean, it's been tough. We lost almost all of our jazz venues.
Yeah.
I think that once things open up, that we will have more venues again. It's going to take a second, but I have my YouTube channel, which you can always go and see some of these videos. You can also go to my Alison Crockett artist page on Facebook, and I have videos on there as well, so that you can see what it is that I'm doing. And yes, I'm on Instagram as well. And so, I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff to be able to see me and to see what it is that I do. But I have been centering in on my children's projects and another recording project, which is a redo of or redux of Mommy What's a Depression, doing duets. So I've been kind of centering in on that. And, one of the songs that I'm actually hoping that Felipe Silviera is going to do with me is called Human, which is a song that I wrote about what does it mean to be human. During this time, like in the hip hop world, we've lost major hip hop artists with DMX, and we've also are dealing with with the George Floyd trial, which thankfully we got a verdict, but 2 other people were shot and killed literally the same week. And so we're still dealing with who is considered human, who's given the permission to be human, to get human, to be treated as human. Is it, it is how much money you make? Is it who you love? Is it what culture you're from? Is it what kind of family you have? And, so what truly, who gets to be human? And I was thinking about, I'm a big sci-fi person.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes, I'm a big sci-fi person. I'm a big Trekkie, and I love Star Wars. I just finished watching, it's now called Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So I just finished watching that, and it, that really brings up in terms of who is considered an American, and why, I was thinking about Star Trek when I was writing this song, and Data on the next generation or the new generation, well, all he wanted to do was be human, and the whole Star Trek mythology is about humanity. Like what is it? Mr. Spock was the human computer, so to speak. Was he better than being a human? And then Data was a computer, and he wanted to be human. And then you had on the Avery Brooks, I call it the Avery Brooks show, DS9. It was, who gets to be treated as fully humanoid, or what's the importance of who gets the rights and who gets to do things. And then on Voyager, it was, well, I was turned into a machine, and how do I get back to being a human? And
you really know all your sci-fi.
I know all of it.
Very impressed.
But it's all about, but that's what I was thinking about in terms of when I write, I'm thinking about what it means to be in that moment. So
this is like very deep also, I think, and it couldn't be more timely. It's always timely, unfortunately, in our country. But I think that being said, maybe we can go ahead and listen to Human, since
sure,
broke it down for us.
I did this live. I did this live. This was the first performance that I did during quarantine.
Wow.
So this is with Taurus Mateen on bass, John Lampkin on drums, and Sam Prather on piano.
Oh, okay, great.
H-U-M-A-N. Who decides who is human? If you are human, who made that decision? Your mother, your father, your brother, your lover. Who can you love? Who can you trust? Is this enough to tell us if you are human? H-U-M-A-N. Who decides who is human? And if you are human, what are the criteria? Your mobile employer, creator, destroyer. Who you become? Who can you run? Is this enough to tell us if you are human? First there was God. He created the world. When he was done, they made us from the dust. First there was God. He created the world. When he was done, he made us from the dust. H-U-M-A-N. Who decides who is human? And if you are human, do you know how to treat them? Compassion with passion, infection, protection. Who can you touch? Who can you love? Is this enough? Is this enough? Who can you love? Is this enough? Who can you love? Is this enough? Who can you love? Who can you love? Is this enough to tell us if you are human?
Thank you.
That was awesome. That
Thank
was amazing.
Thank you.
That was awesome energy.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. It was, that was a tough one because I hadn't sung or barely spoken in like 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, this is what my voice feels like. It was just, we have to, I think that we all kind of with the pandemic, everything shifted, and it was like, oh wow. It was, and you don't speak as much.
Yeah.
I just didn't speak as much. So it was like, oh, this is what performing is like. I think that's what
Absolutely.
we're all gonna be like, oh.
I've had the same thing. We get rusty because we just are not out there doing it.
Mhm.
But a pleasant surprise. I saw Sam Prather there. In my other life, I worked at the Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council doing programming, and I recently featured Akuya Ulrich, who's a fantastic singer as well, and Sam was there playing. So it was nice. Shout out to Sam.
Oh yeah. Both of them are great. They're great artists. But one of the things about the DC metropolitan area,
And Prince George's.
and that's right. Well, that's why I said the metropolitan area, which includes Prince George's County, Montgomery County, Howard County, Fairfax County in Virginia.
Northern Virginia, yep.
The whole area, there's really quite a lot of musicians here doing a lot of different things. It's not just one segment of the arts that are here. And, that's right, Arlington, shout out.
Our producer there. He grew up in Arlington. So.
Virginians is crazy. But seriously, there's just so much music here. There's so much music here. We have a lot of great musicians of so many different genres that there's no reason you can't say that you won't, that you can't see good music. Like I
Absolutely.
think the Petworth is having their Porchfront series or Porchfront Festival tomorrow. And I know that like Heidi Martin's going to be performing for that. And there's going to be quite a few people that are going to be doing, and with all different kinds of music.
Yes.
I mean, there's no excuse for us to not see or support these artists.
Yeah, this amazing music from every part of the world, because we have people from every part of the world here. They're all talented, and it really is amazing. You can, wherever you want to hear what type of music, and you can also learn from them. Which is pretty amazing. I think the Maryland State Arts Council, who is in part a sponsor of the programming today, I think they do an excellent job as well, like highlighting the rich traditions that we have going on here in the And so speaking of which, with the music, I want to circle back to what you're doing with the children's workshops. The Alison Crockett Family Jazz Workshop, is that right?
So it's a mouthful.
I know.
It's the Alison Crockett Jazz Family Jam Song Workshops.
Okay. Is it just one, or are you going to have several going on, or?
Well, so I'm doing a series right now, which it started on Tuesday and goes till May 8th on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So I'll be doing another one tomorrow. And each one spotlights a different song. So first we started off with Frem Frem Saws. We're doing Cruella de Vil and how Disney, and what makes jazz sound like jazz, and going through all these Disney songs. We're going to do Route 66, talking about the blues. We're going to learn about Billie Holiday, God Bless the Child. And we're going to do the C-Jam Blues and learn how to scat with Ella Fitzgerald.
Wow.
So I'm trying to, again, deal with the authentic music that is here. And, there's Duke Ellington was born here in DC, and there's a lot of jazz musicians who are from this area and who live in this area. And I want to make sure that our kids have the opportunity to learn about singing the music. There's quite a bit about playing the music on instruments, but a lot of kids don't get a chance to learn how to sing the music. And so I wanted to give children the opportunity for parents to, I know that my kids are on, YouTube and TikTok and Minecraft and all that kind of stuff. And they have to be in school all day, and they've had to be, dealing with virtual school. And my kids have gone back to physical school, but they're even doing that on a screen as well, in order to be able to deal with the hybrid kind of stuff that's going on. And this program, though it's online, it's the online stuff that you want your kids to be a part of, because they're learning something and they're having fun. And I'm doing things, I taught preschool music and elementary music for close to 20 years in various forms, whether it be as an artist in residence or whether it be as a music teacher for the DC public school system at Fillmore Arts Center. I've worked with kids in the Bronx. I've worked with kids in Manhattan and Queens and Brooklyn. And I've also worked with kids in all 4 boroughs of DC. Oh, boroughs. I'm still thinking like a New Yorker. In all 4 quadrants of DC. And I wanted to, I wanted to kind of give all of that information and ways that I learned how to deal with teaching with kids in dealing with jazz. Because on our education, our music education, we don't deal with it. Teachers don't really know about it. And it's not really taught in music schools for education.
What do you say to people who say jazz is too complicated?
I say I understand, because there's jazz musicians who make it sound complicated and don't talk and don't perform. And so I understand. But if you listen to music if you listen to singing, that's one of the first ways of coming in, and you can hear the joy. Because remember, this is America's first pop music, to tell you the honest truth. Mm-hmm. Jazz was dance music and can still be dance music, and is morphed into what we call, soul and R&B and rhythm and blues. That's where it came out of the blues and jazz and being more dance oriented, and rock. That jazz comes straight. Jazz is the father or the mother of those music styles. And so there are many, many artists that you can listen to that, like Duke Ellington, like Ella Fitzgerald, like Sarah Vaughn, like Nat King Cole. And I, even though Elis Regina is considered is a Brazilian artist, I think of her as the quintessential jazz artist.
Oh,
because she's using rhythm, she's using the joy of what she does, and she improvises all the time, and it's music, Brazilian music and bossa nova and samba and jazz and R&B and gospel. We share a common ancestor, and we share very similar experiences. So, I understand when people think it's a little complicated. Then let's go listen to, like, there's people here in DC, like Akua Ulrich is a wonderful jazz singer. Lori Williams is a wonderful jazz singer who you can really get into, and she sings more like people would call it smooth R&B, smooth jazz. Sharon Clark is a wonderful jazz singer. She sings music from movie soundtracks all the time, and she's wonderful to watch. So there's just quite a few people that you can go and see, and that make the music fun to watch and listen to. It doesn't have every piece of music that you listen to doesn't have to be so serious. And I try to tell my students that, and there is times for serious music. But if you want to hear fun music, go listen to Dizzy Gillespie singing Uyaku, or listen to Slim Gilliard singing Potato Chips. That's fun. There's so much fun music that's out there that gets you into the music, that allows you to listen. Or if you just want to relax or be relaxed, listen to cool jazz with Miles Davis.
Oh, yeah, that's
You
I
know,
love it.
listen to John Coltrane's My Favorite Things, which is just full of spiritual energy that's uplifting. Um, there's so many different artists that you can listen to from the past and the present. The Echoes of an Era record is just joyful. Is joyful. Listen to Lou Rawls singing blues and Joe Williams. Listen to Nancy Wilson and all the drama that she has. It's very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to listen to more modern oriented, jazzy kinds of sounds, you can listen to Sade. You can listen to Jill Scott or Erykah Badu. You listen to Rachelle Farrelle, Anita Baker, all these people, Patty Austin, and Dee Dee Bridgewater.
I'm gonna make the list out of all the names you're mentioning. So when people tell me it's too complicated, we can just point to the list.
There's so many artists right now. Christy Dashiell, who's right here in DC. Cecile McLaurin-Salvant, Jasmine Horn. There's Gregory Porter. Nobody's going to say that Gregory Porter doesn't have a beautiful voice that you could just jam to and sing. There's just so many. There's so many. Listen to old Roy Hargrove records, the trumpeter.
Mm-hmm.
The Baylors, Gina Marcus.
I think you're proving that you are the person to lead the workshops and know about the authenticity of music. I want to play a clip from the music that you're doing with that. But before then, I do want to mention for our audience a couple of upcoming events that Educarte has. So with the performance series, the next show is Friday, May 14th, and that's going to be a conversation with actually myself and Sinclair Ogaga. He is a Nigerian dancer, and Kate Spanos, our co-producer here. We're going to be talking about an upcoming project we have where we're mixing Brazilian music and Nigerian dance. So that should be exciting.
That's exciting.
Yes. And we have a great one. Well, one I'm very excited for is we're going to do a virtual dance party. We did one to kick off the series for Carnival. We did in February, which worked out great. We had our local community of Brazilian enthusiasts and dancers dancing, and we had our favorite samba singer who comes every year and couldn't come this year, JP Silva, performed from Rio de Janeiro with his band. This time, we're going to have Rose Moraes, who's local here, with Rob Courto, the accordion player. They're going to play music, and we're going to do the same dance party. So I encourage everyone to tune in. That's going to be a really fun one. And that's on Friday, June 11th, which coincides with Brazil's Festa Junina month, the June month. And then in July, on July 9th, we have a conversation with Salon Mitchell, who's a great friend of ours, and he's a flutist, classical, and is also very involved with Latin music, chamber music. It should be a very fun show. Then we have some workshops coming up. We have a special one with my good friend André Coelho, who's been watching and commenting. He's a master percussionist from Brazil and has led several sort of carnival ensembles there. He's going to do a workshop on how to play the Brazilian tambourine, which is called the pandeiro. And for anyone interested in learning how to play different rhythms, we also have on our site for registration, he shows you how to make a low-cost pandeiro, how to get one for free, how to play one free, and also how to buy one that's very cheap and fix it. And then we're going to close off the workshop series on Friday, July 2nd with Southeast Asian music with Bo Rason. Bo Rason is a multi-instrumentalist, composer, and recording artist. He has played all types of music, and he's just a complete expert in all string instruments. And he's going to be talking about Southeast Asian music, which will be, I find, very exciting. And just tune into our website. It's on the screen there. The Chiron. We have educarteinc.org for more information about events. We are also teaching music classes to the Brazilian immigrant family communities in the DMV, and those classes are free for anyone. It's in Portuguese. because it's helping the children who speak Portuguese sort of maintain their cultural identity and learn about their music and their heritage. So that's also going on. Anyone can sign up for free for that if their children speak some Portuguese. And with that, I would love to show the clip, and that maybe they can take us out like that.
Yep. Fram sauce. Come on with it.
Fram sauce. Let's hear it.
Cause everybody gotta eat. I don't want French fried potatoes, red ripe tomatoes. I'm never satisfied. I want the fram sauce, the awesome thing with chef Fafa on the side. I don't want pork chops and bacon. That won't awaken my appetite inside. I want the fram sauce, the awesome thing with chef Fafa on the side. Now a woman really gotta eat, and a woman should eat right. A 5 will get you 10. I'm gonna feed myself right tonight. I don't want fish cakes or rye bread. You heard what I said. Waiter, please serve my fried. I want the fram sauce, the awesome thing with chef Papa on the side. Blip, blip, blip. Blue do deep beat. Stu da boo ba boo. Bleed. Dee go do bit. Ga do big boy. Start. But bit do bit ya. Blit do do do. But do be do be do be Lord. That do boo boo beep boo boo beep do ya. Boo bleed. Do be see to boy your bed with it to you do it be do be be boo 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 be boo do do de do boo do so do better body your bloody boo be do it but do do be so boy your do we da do ya bo bo do bo bo be do so de so do bo bo be de ya do bo be de ya be da be de do do lo 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 de. I don't want French fried potatoes, red ripe tomatoes. I'm never satisfied. I want the prim sauce with the awesome fade, with chef pepper on the side. I don't want pork chops and bacon. That won't awaken my appetite inside. I want the prim sauce with the awesome fade, with chef pepper on the side. Now a woman's really got to eat, and a woman should eat right. 5 will get you 10. I'm gonna feed myself right tonight. I don't want fish cakes and rye bread. You heard what I said. Baby, please serve my fried. I want the prim sauce with the awesome fade, with your papa on the side. I want the prim sauce, the awesome fade, with your papa on the side. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. You guys groove so hard. That's amazing.
Thank you. And who says that that's not fun?
Oh, God.
You know, that's the whole thing. Who says that that's not fun, or
Yes.
that you have to be
Yeah.
smart in order to understand it? It doesn't matter that people don't know how to scat. And, you know, is it fun to listen to? Are you dancing in your seat? That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Alison, it's always a pleasure. It's your second time with us here on the show, and it's always a pleasure to have you. The conversations are always so pleasant and interesting and natural, but we talked about so many interesting issues, your projects, authenticity and community in music. We talked about some of the tensions we're having in our society now and local music. It's really a pleasure, and I want to thank you again. I encourage everyone to go to Alison's website and her Instagram and Facebook. Can we throw that on the screen real quick? And because she's also very active. I've been following her, learning about her garden and how she's staying in shape, which is pretty exciting. And I know it takes a lot of work to do that. So thank you for that. And remembering that tomorrow you can see her on Blues Alley streaming live. Is it live?
Yes, it is. It is live. You do have to buy a ticket, but it is it's $15 and it's and I think that you have that link up there, and we're going to be celebrating Ella Fitzgerald, the great Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah. And most people haven't been spending much money on seeing shows and going out, so it's a reasonable fee, and it's supporting the arts. I think it's very important that we all get out there and support our musicians. They provide us with such creative outlet and relief and happiness and joy, and so it's really important to do that. I encourage everyone to do that, and I try and do it.
Really quickly, also supporting our venues. Blues Alley is the last jazz venue standing because of COVID. And so we need to support our venues. We need to support our arts organizations like this one right here. We need to support our arts organizations. We need to support our venues. We need to support our artists. So, if you want this to be a part of your life, you have to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, you got to put, we were saying before, if you want to play the music, you got to listen to the music first a lot, and you put money where your mouth is. If anyone wants to, our programming is generally free for everyone, but if anyone would like to donate, to contribute, they can do so at our website, educarte.org/donate. We're happy to do that. And once again, I want to thank you, Alison. I wish you a wonderful show, and I look forward to seeing you live and in person.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to it too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.